Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Stephanie with Vintage Freak 32. If you guys have been looking for where the next video is coming up, I had to take a little break, like about a week off because I had to deal with some personal stuff, but I have a couple more projects for you and we're going to get into it. So these are going to be really quick, simple, easy ones. I have a whole bunch of these spools, these sewing spools. They had thread on them. They're vintage, and I just love how each one is different with different labels and uniqueness. And I have some old embroidery thread here, and we're basically going to dress up these naked spools. And here I'm just giving a moment for the labels because the labels alone on this vintage embroidery thread is fantastic. So this is pretty simple. We're literally going to wrap thread around the spools. So you could do this for any holiday. You don't have to even hot glue these in place. I'm just hot gluing the end because I'm neurotic like that. And so you don't even have to do that. You can literally just start wrapping away at the spool, whatever color you want, whatever thread you want. It doesn't even have to be embroidery thread. It could be any kind of, it could be ribbon for all you want. And as far as the spools go, I mean, these are pretty easy to come by. You can buy fresh. You can buy new spools on Amazon and stuff, but I find these all the time at the thrift store, estate sales. There's always a box of Sewing Notions somewhere with spools of empty spools, half full spools of thread. I mean, it's almost guaranteed at this point. So I am doing each color with a different spool, or one color for each spool. It's been a week, y'all. It's been a week. So my brain is a little mushy. So I wanted to come up with a quick little project for you guys, and this is where I fell. So I wrapped these around, and in a moment here, you're going to see I get into quite the knot here. And if you know, we spent a little time here unraveling this knot, and we had a little bit of a Christmas vacation fix this knot situation kind of thing.
Come on, unravel these. You have to check every bulb. Got a little knot here. You work on that.
So yeah, if you know, you know. If you do know, leave a comment for me that, one of the best all-time Christmas movies ever is Christmas Vacation. It's watched every year. But I'm trying to keep Christmas out of this. This is a Halloween video, okay? I love crafting for Halloween. So I'm hanging on to it as long as I can. Even if it's doing simple little things like this. So I have all the spools together and they just look so cute sitting there. But this is how various ways I decided to display them. I have a couple doll heads and I just rested one of the doll heads on top. I didn't attach it to the spool or anything. And I didn't attach the end so you can see how the threads are loose on the end. I thought about putting you could put a little pin. I didn't have any pins. Like a little needle to hold it in place would be cute, but there's just so many different things you could do with this. You could put them in a little glass mason jar. The opportunities are endless here and they fit anywhere, little letterpress tray, cubby, what have you. So project 2. As I was saying before, I have some doll heads and we are going to make this doll head a body. I got the inspiration for this from A Vision in Vintage. She is another crafter here on YouTube, and I will link her channel in the description box below. She took a porcelain head doll, which I have a hard time coming by those, And when I do, they're super expensive, but I think they're also very much trending right now, so they're a little pricier than they normally are. And let alone I didn't want to buy one just to break its head off. I think she already had a broken head off of hers, and so she used the broken head. But I am stacking, as you can see, these cake tins, these small little bundt tins, cake tins, and you can see here this is the idea we're going for, and I'm just stacking them up, and I'm using these little wood blocks that I have from the Dollar Tree. And I stained them. You don't have to. I had stained them for a different project and I didn't end up using them all. And so this is just what I had left over. If they weren't stained, I would have just used them as the raw wood, either way. But you want some sort of spacer between the tins so they don't just nest inside themselves. So whatever you want to use just needs to be something sturdy. And then I lost the footage between that last clip and this clip. I don't know what happened to it, but I had some lace from the underlining of her dress that this doll's body that once was. And so I used the like meshy tulle lace underneath as like a little collar around her neck. And I'm just adding that on there, and we're just going to kind of, mess around with this. She is a sleeper doll, so her eyes will open and close, but because we're filming in a bird's eye view, her eyes are always going to look closed for you. But she has some creepy eyes. Like one of her eyes is a little bit like the plastic overlay is cracked, so it looks like she has like a shattered eye. But yeah. So here I'm just deciding how and if I want to put anything over the tins. I'll put a picture here of how that inspiration from A Vision in Vintage. She didn't put anything on hers. And so, but mine comes out a bit different. It's not an exact replica, of course. So, and that's not what I was going for. But I found this black lace and I decided I was going to put that in the middle of her on that middle tin. And then you'll see it will, once I get it all the way around, it wants to like naturally kind of bunch up on itself, or like, I don't know how to explain that without you just seeing it. But I bring it back down and kind of add a little small bead of hot glue around the end or like the bottom to keep the lace down instead of scrunching back up on itself. So I ended up scrapping the idea of using the arms from her doll body and making arms out of the chenille pipe cleaners, because I wanted to be able to like manipulate the arms and not just have them be like stick straight down and be stuck that way. So I made these her arms out of the chenille, and then I kind of just bend over the ends to kind of make hands, and then later I'll put some dried flowers in her hands. So I did want her to be like an ornament, or that you could hang her. So I have this embroidery thread and a needle, and I'm going to thread the needle through her hair and have it tie itself essentially around the bun. I'm not piercing the head of the doll. I'm just simply threading the thread through her fixed hair. And then I'll pull it through and tie it like a shoelace, and then at one end, and then I will tie at the other end to make it a loop, essentially, so that it can be hung up from anywhere. Because the original one was like supposed to be like a wind chime kind of thing, hanging. And then to cover that up or just add some more, she needed something on her head. A Vision and Vintages has a crown on it, and I didn't have anything that was like that, and I didn't want to have to go out and buy more something for this. So I used the other chenille pipe cleaner from that you saw I had two, and then I made a bow with the Dollar Tree ribbon and added that to the back. And I really like how that turned out. So she's like this creepy little Victorian girl now who will come for you in the night. So, you know, she's creepy cute, right? She's creepy cute. So, and then here's the dried flowers. Again, this is like my never ending stash that I picked up from Joann's before they closed out, but you can get these on Amazon. I'll link some in the description box below. So this is dried baby's breath. And I am just going to make her a little bouquet to hold, to just add to the like creepiness, because there's nothing like some dead dried flowers in your hand. I don't know. Anyway, she needed to hold something, so I gave her a bouquet. Okay, so you guys know I had to give her some lashes and brows because she's browless and lashless. So I am taking my very fine liner brush and just some acrylic paint, black acrylic paint, and I'm giving this girl the lashes of her dreams, because we love a good lash. And some eyebrows. I would be lying if I said I did this in one take. I wiped her paint off probably 3 or 4 times before I got it how I liked it. And this is the finished product. So the spools and the doll Victorian girl ornament are listed in my Etsy shop for purchase. And if you guys stick around to the end of the video here, coming up shortly, I have some other items that I crafted off camera for you guys to take a look at. So if you guys remember my previous videos where I've hand painted the jack-o'-lantern faces onto the pumpkins and what have you, I'll link those in the description below. But these were my prototypes. This is what I practiced on. So they're not amazing, but they're still, I want somebody to love them. So they're listed in my Etsy shop as prototypes, pretty cheap. And then I made this cutie. I found the owl himself at Goodwill, and he had mica glitter all over his chest, so he's vintage. And the top hat, I changed the ribbon and I put him on a wooden stained pedestal with some moss and some pumpkins, and he's also available in my Etsy shop. I really love how he turned out. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all on the next one. Bye!